Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm a sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together the blocks in the table runner called Coffee Table Poetry. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, please visit our website. We're going to be working with 5-inch pre-cut strips, and I was just going to show you a real quick tip. A lot of the pre-cut strips have kind of a zigzag pinked edge to them, and they can produce a lot of lint. So if you run a lint brush back and forth along the edges before you start working with them, you'll reduce the amount of fuzz and things that end up in your sewing machine or all over your clothes. So that's one little quick tip there. Now we're going to be working with a bunch of black, green, gray, taupe color prints, and you can see that the contrast makes this great design. And how do we get to that block? This is what we're working toward. It kind of gives you maybe a southwest kind of feel to it, these sharp angles and in narrow strips. But it's a real quick, fun technique. It doesn't take very long to pick it up. You do have to repeat it a couple times just so you get it down, but it's very easy to do. So what we're going to be doing is starting with paired. Pick up 2 pieces of fabric that you want to put into the block. These are the same as what in the block here. Lay them right sides together. And you're going to be coming in, and I've marked this one, but this will be your cutting. At the 2.5-inch point, which is midway along the top, you're going to lay your ruler and you're going to cut from here to the outside corner in both directions. So I'm going to be able to go in real easily and create that ruler handy. So you're going to measure over 2.5 inches. And you're just going to make a little tiny notch. This is with a pen that can easily be ironed away. So if it happened to get marked on the sewing part of the actual part of your block, it would disappear. But I'm just making a notch so that I can sew or cut then cleanly both directions from that notch to the outside corner. Like that. And I'm going to spread that apart. You can see there it's down through 2 layers. Now I'm going to be cutting away the top of this pyramid. And here's one I've marked. This is 4 inches from the bottom of the block to this little cutting line. So I'm going to lay in my ruler. It's kind of an odd angle, but you would have it probably laid out for you better. But 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to cut away this very top little triangle. And it's just this little one that we're going to discard. We're going to use the rest of our pieces. So I'll take that away. Now we can easily mismatch our pieces by just relayering so that the center green triangle is going to be joined with these lighter pieces on the outside edge. And we're working with the reflection of that, and we're also then going to be joining these together. And now you'll see that these outside pieces are longer. That's the way they're supposed to be. They'll be trimmed at a later point. So what you're going to be doing is joining this together, and you're going to slide it up so that from this outside edge, there's a stiletto here, from the outside edge here, over 1/4 inch is where you're going to start sewing. So you're going to be sewing here, pressing it outward, put this on right sides together again. 1/4 inches should make kind of a V here where you're going to put your needle in, and 1/4 inch here and press out. And I have some that are already assembled that way. And we'll show you then. So I've got a pair here in black and green, a little brighter contrast for you. See, you can see that there are these little triangles here, and that they do extend at the very bottom, and they're extra long. And there you can see how that's pressed. Now we're going to cut these one at a time. I'm going to layer on a rotating mat so that I can easily get at them to cut from the proper angle. I can maneuver them for showing you. What we're going to be doing is cutting 1.5-inch strips off of this. So let me position these properly, I guess, this direction. And if the top edge, if one side isn't exactly straight, you can take just a little bit off. So overcut it by just a tiny bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch. But don't get too generous and take off too much. You just want to be able to clean it up. You'd want to get a 1 1/4 inch strip underneath the ruler. And then I will go back and clean that up in a minute, but while we have it in position, I'm going to cut the next 2 strips also, again at the 1 1/4 inch mark there. And then the last one, you'll see we're going to take away these tails that we had at the bottom of the block, so that's where they get trimmed away. Now remember, I overcut that first one just a tiny bit. I want to get that nice and cleaned up. 1 1/4 is that there. So I don't waste hardly anything in this process. I'm really using my fabrics efficiently. I'll go ahead and cut the second piece of that in the same manner, that 1 1/4 inch piece. Now in order to create the half block, because these are 2 sides of the block, you can see the dividing mark here. We have two pieces. You have to go do the reflection in order to make the entire block. But you have to realign these because you're not at this point this point in the game. So what you do is basically step this down, and you'll notice they fit together perfectly, one on top of the other, almost kind of like a stacking method. So I'll do it again. We'll take it back to its original so you can see that triangle in the center. Goes out of the way. All I'm doing is realigning by taking the widest one, bringing it closest to me, bringing the next one in, and the next, and then they're all perfectly stacked. Now I just join those together to make half of the block. And I've got 2 halves already created. We did that process with its reflection to make the blocks for coffee table poetry. Just work your way through, pick blocks of fairly good contrast. Some are a little lower contrast too. Have fun working through your pieces for coffee table poetry. If you'd like to see more of our Quilting Quickly tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me.